Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we speed paint some Warhammer starter box sets. No, not this one. We're going back in time. So you have probably noticed the pre-release of 10th edition box set. And although I have some plans to put the insides of this huge box on the channel in some form, I decided to take this opportunity to get rid of some stuff from my box of shame. I have not been back in the hobby to have real pile, but box is enough. So today I decided to finish all Necrons I collected over the time I'm back in the hobby. At first, I had the idea to create a painting army in one day video or something like that, but then I realized I just have no interest and time to do something like that, and honestly I don't think you do either, but I still wanted to finish this project fastest as I can. So eventually it took me around 8 hours altogether, spread across 3 days, which is not that bad. The real backbone of this army is the Indomitus Box set, plus I have some more warriors and scarabs and some of the Canoptech raids. Now I do realize we do not have the points for the edition yet, but this looks about 1000 points and a good start for the army. So I wanted to do a quick and easy paint scheme for the army that is easy to replicate for all plastic that is yet to come for this army. The Necrons, as they are modeled, do really benefit from the good old dry brush. And as much as it is not reliable for most of the paint shops, just who can benefit more from the dusty texture finish than the Necrons. So the main color I went for is an easy blue dry brush through the full spectrum. And even though the first layers do not really show on the camera, they do create a nice texture on the armor that can be quite flat. So I just work my way up. From dark Prussian blue, through some primary blue and ultramarine, into the turquoise part of the spectrum, and I finish with some bone white. You might notice this fella. This is Larry, and his legs got blasted off and are currently used in a different project. But it does not stop him from following the protocol. I also make sure that dry brushed layers are smaller and lighter with every color, so the turquoise and bone white is just very lightly applied only on top of the minis. And this is the final look of the dry brushed armor. I wanted to make it real simple, but also to have an army that when deployed on the table, it looks united and in unison. So I bet on a nice relationship between the blue spectre and magenta. And let's be honest, the magenta is always a good choice. This is a good way to execute this low-level non-metallic metal armor. What makes it really pop on the battlefield is the secondary color. That is right. It is time for the magenta. Now, as I said, it is an easy paint job, so I just stipple the magenta paint on all the non-armor parts and all the glowing parts of the armor. And I feel like that is the secret for basically all the speed painting of large values. It is not just cutting corners where you can and time managing as well as you can. It is mostly handling the contrast and the relationship between the primary and secondary color. And if you manage to do this well, you can be as sloppy as I am here, or you can come back to refine your models to make this paint job as good as you want it to be. I used the white ink for all the cavities and glowing effect of the weapons, chest pieces and head. And for a full video on this effect you can check my channel. Now, the second most important thing when batch painting this large number of models or an army is basing. And no, it doesn't need to be some elaborate masterpiece you spent your life on. It can just be something simple and unifying that complements your color scheme and makes your army a real presence on the battlefield. And we do have the tools to do it. Just some quick tips for the methods I used. Make sure you base coat the texture on the base before you apply any of the technical paints, so when the crackling effect does appear, it has some solid background. Also, when working with the crackling paint, you need to realize that the more paint you put on the base, the larger the cracklings appear. But also the drying time is much longer. And tip number 2, when using the pigment, you should really do it on some hobby mat or cutting mat. Or you end up spending more time cleaning up the mess you made before your better half finds it than the time you spend on applying the pigment. The dry pigment is a great tool, just simply for tying it all together, so apply it on the base, on all the tufts, and also on all the parts that might get messy by the dust on the ground. And these are the final results. I am quite happy with the way the army turned out, and I feel like they make a nice present on the battlefield. I might expand on this force in the future, so if you know about a good model that I should include in this army, just let me know down below. Also, if you like the video, leave a like, it really helps out the channel, or subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Thanks for watching.